Hello again everyone, and welcome to our fourth tutorial in our summer program. Today we're going to be making something yummy. We're going to be making our ice cream or lollipop charms, which can go on to a little key ring. So here's a little twister. We've got our little ice cream there, and got this one is our little fab. So I'm going to be showing you some techniques, and you can create the ones that I've shown you, and maybe afterwards you can use your own imagination to create whatever your favourite ice lolly is or ice cream. So watch the tutorial from start to finish, and then you can go through it at your own pace, pausing and rewinding as you need to. So we're just going to flip the camera around now so that we can get started. Okay, so the components that we're going to need for this tutorial today are going to be your keychain and your 4 paper clips. So you'll see that I've attached one of the paper clips to the end of the keychain, and what this means is that you will then be able to just pop on whichever one of your charms you want, and then you can just slip them off and change them around as you wish. Okay, so in terms of the actual charms, they're all designed to be quite small, so you can see in how small it is in my hand, and therefore we're going to use very little amounts of clay today. So the colours that I have taken out from my bag are just a little bit of white, some green, some purple, some blue, some yellow and some red, and I'm just going to use my box to keep those covered up. So the first one that we're going to make is going to be the little twister lolly. So we've got pink on the inside, and then we've got green and white twisted all the way around the outside with brown for a little lollipop stick. So that's the one that we're going to start with, is the little lollipop stick, and we're going to mix some brown. Now there are lots of different ways to make brown. For this particular tutorial today, we're going to use yellow and purple. So I'm going to use 2 parts yellow to 1 part purple. And the way I'm going to do this is just to make 2 balls the same size. And then I'm going to get a purple one, same size, and this just helps us with our portions. So I'm going to pop my purple one on there, and I'm just going to stretch and fold these together. So stretching and folding until we get a nice brown. So I'm mixing enough brown that will be able to make my lollipop sticks and also the cone for my ice cream. So if you find that it's a little bit too purpley, then you can add more yellow if you need to. So it's kind of like a milk chocolate brown, this one. Okay, so that's fine. I'm gonna pop that over there, another box. So I'm gonna make my little lollipop stick. So I'm just taking a little pinch of the brown clay, and we're going to use Pinocchio to help us to roll, first of all, a little ball round and round, and then back and forward to make just a little sausage. Okay. The next part we're going to make is going to be the pink in the middle. So I'm going to mix up some pink clay. I've got some already mixed here. So white with a little blob of red, and just start by adding a small amount of red, and if you want to make it darker you can add to that. So I'm going to take a piece probably about the size of a Malteser this time. I'm going to roll it in a ball, and I'm going to make a little cylinder back and forward. And the good thing about using Pinocchio to roll, it just keeps it nice and even. Okay, I'm going to turn it on its end and just flatten it off a little bit like this. Now at this stage, I'm going to insert my paper clip. So I'm holding this very gently. I'm going to take my paper clip and I'm just going to very gently push this in. So you can see that we've got the little hook part poking out at the top. Now, if it is, if you've squashed it a little bit, you can just get Pinocchio and roll it back out again. So you've got your little hook there. And then I'm going to insert the lollipop stick. I'm just going to poke a hole using Pinocchio's nose. I'm going to pop my little lollipop stick in the end, like this. Okay. So now we're going to make some bright green for the stripy part. And for this, I'm going to mix 2 parts yellow and 1 part green. So you can see I'm just taking a pinch, move this out of the way. So 2 yellow and 1 green, because I want this to be nice bright green. Stretching and folding. That's it. Okay. And we're going to make a long, thin sausage. So we're going to make a green one and a white one. So I'm going to take. So again, about the size of a Malteser, I'm rolling it into a smooth ball first. And then I'm going to use this part of my hand for rolling to make my sausage. If I use my fingers, it's going to be bumpy all the way along. But if I use this part of my hand, it'll keep it nice and even. So I'm moving my hand along like this. And then we're going to make a white one as well. So again, Malteser size is enough. So round and round and back and forward. Nice long thin line. So we'll try and get these the same kind of width. Same thickness, yeah? So I'm gonna put that side by side. I'm just gonna press down just to chop the edges off these. Right, it'll probably be longer than what I need, but very carefully, I'm gonna start up here at the top, and I'm going to very carefully start to roll this around. Okay, all the way. It's like a helter-skelter slide, all the way around. So it does need to be quite long. Just going to neaten these up so it's nice to see the pink part as well poking out there. Okay, and that's your first one all done. So I'm going to set that over to dry, and then we're going to move on to the ice cream cone. So we're going to use the brown that we've already mixed for the ice cream cone first of all, and again Malteser size. I'm going to roll it up into a ball first of all, and we're going to make this into a long raindrop. So hand on the table, we're going to push the hand down towards, nice flat hand, and we're using this part to roll against our clay back and forward until you get a nice long raindrop. And with this one, we're going to flatten it a little bit, just pat it a little bit and flatten off the edge. So you can use your fingers to kind of make it look a little bit more like an ice cream cone. Now, we're going to make some lines on it, and we're going to use this straight part of Pinocchio's hat, and I'm just going to push in to make little diagonal lines all the way like this. Okay. And now it's time to make my whippy ice cream. But before I do that, I'm going to insert my paper clip. So I'm just gonna put it in because I'm gonna whip my ice cream around the paper clip, okay? So, I'm gonna take some white. So this is gonna be like a raspberry ripple ice cream. So a Malteser amount again. And then I'm gonna take a tiny little piece of red. Okay, you could make it like a bubblegum flavor or whatever your favorite is. And we're gonna marble this, okay? So we're not mixing it through to make it completely pink. We are just going to twist. So stretching and twisting, stretching and twisting like this, okay? So you can see when you've got all of those lovely swirls in there, then we're gonna roll it up into a ball. So it's gonna look like a marble. Now we wanna make a really, really long sausage. So again, I'm gonna use that hand, we're gonna press, roll it out. Okay, and then we're gonna push down on one side to get a point, like so. Okay, so this really needs to be, if you're using one of these boxes, probably about the length of the box is a good guide. And I'm just gonna start here, back, and I'm gonna roll around. I'm gonna twist it up like so. And if you find you've made it a little bit too long, what you can do is just nip it off, or if your paper clip, you can just pull that out a little bit if you want to make it a little bit longer. Okay, so with this one, I'm just going to nip it off a bit, make a wee point, and there we have it. Okay, so you can add, if you want, you can add a little flake. So get rid of that one. So you could use a little piece of your brown clay, make a little sausage. If you want, you can just poke a little flake in there. And then you can give it some sprinkles. So on this one, I've got some blue, purple, yellow, green. So whatever colors you've got mixed. The key to this is just to keep them really, really tiny. So just chop off your little pieces. There's a couple of green ones. I'm gonna get some blue and some purple. So these are just pinches, guys, not much at all. You don't need a lot. So 1, 2, some blue. And then I'm gonna get a little bit of yellow as well. Okay, so just making these into little balls and then back and forward, just little sausages, and you can put those all over. Keep them nice and small. Small as you can make them, the better. You can put those all over. So like I say, if you've got some more paper clips at home, why not make some different flavors. These don't take much clay at all. So there we go. More purple ones. And that's pretty much gonna be our little ice cream cone all done. So I'm gonna put that one over to dry as well. And then we're gonna move on to our last one. So this one's like a fab. So I'm gonna use some of the pink that I've already mixed. I'm gonna mix a little bit of a lighter blue. I've got some green that I've already mixed, and I've got some purple. So start off with my pink clay, and I'm just gonna make a Malteser size. Then I'm gonna mix a little bit of light blue. So white with a little bit of blue. More white in there, I think. ball. Yep. Then get some of my lime green colour. Another ball. So what you can do with these is just maybe have them getting a little bit smaller as you go as well. And then the purple one at the top is going to be the smaller one. Okay. So what I'm going to do with these now, I'm just going to stack them very gently on top of each other like this. Okay, so it's like a little tower. Then I'm going to take my paper clip, I'm going to push it in so that very gently I've got my little hook at the top. And then I'm going to take Pinocchio and I'm going to roll back and forward. In fact, that could be like the fruit pastel lollies, couldn't it? Back and forward. And then with this one, I'm just going to press down gently. Like so. I'm going to poke a little hole for my lollipop stick. I'm going to make a little sausage. So round and round, back and forward. Flatten it a little bit. Make this hole a little bigger. I'm going to insert my lollipop stick in there. And then I want to give it some little white kind of sprinkles on the top layer. So these are going to be teensy weensy tiny pieces. So I've got a little bit of white. I'm going to roll it into a very thin sausage. And then I'm just going to chop off as tiny as I can make these little pieces. They're like those little hundreds and thousands. So really, really small. And I'm going to just roll them up. So you could make lots of different coloured sprinkles if you want, or little round hundreds and thousands. You could use some pastel colours. It's entirely up to you. And if you find it difficult to lift them because they're a little bit fiddly, you can just wet your finger and then that helps to lift them. Okay, so I'm going to put a few more, and you can do these on both sides of your lollipop charm. Okay, so boys and girls, I've given you some ideas and some techniques on how to make the different charms. So when you've completed all of your projects, you can use your spare clay that you've got left over to make some more lollipops. So with the colours that you've mixed, make sure that you store them safely. So you can take one of your empty bags or one that's already got some clay, and you're just going to push these into the corner, push them in different corners, and that'll keep them separate. And then you're going to just zip really hard along the top, and that'll keep them nice and fresh